Coming forward, and we're underway for this second, the Tattersalls Ireland Derby Sale 4-year-old Geldings Maiden. Goodbye Earl is one of the first to show with I Told Him That. Tipu Sultan also racing front rank, being followed by Will Bill and Party Policy as they head on their way towards the first. Ramses the Great and the Old Brewery are behind these. They go out over the first, where there was a mistake by Ramses the Great as they went out over that opening fence, so they now turn left-handed, head on their way towards fence number 2. And it's Goodbye Earl who has a narrow advantage as they head on their way towards it. One that's racing particularly clean is a Party Policy as they head on their way towards the second fence. Being followed in these early stages, Bays Hill's another one that is front rank as they've cleared that second fence. They climb now on their way towards the third. Largy Dart is the one that's been ridden with particular patience at the rear of the field. There's a couple of lengths adrift of those in front, as it is the keen running Party Policy who's come through now and has taken over from Bays Hill on the outside of Goodbye Earl. Will Bill is next. Tipu Sultan is in mid division with I Told Him That, who's just dropped a couple of positions. They went out over it. The Old Brewery is next with Ramses the Great. Largy Dart is still the back marker. So climbing towards the top of the hill, about to turn left-handed on their way towards fence number 4. And as they do, it is Party Policy for Jimmy O'Rourke and Adrian Murray that has the advantage, having raced keenly over the opening couple of fences, has gone into an early lead as they close in on this fourth fence. It'll be last in 2 circuits time. The chasing group is headed by Goodbye Earl, who's racing on the inside. They went out over it, although Goodbye Earl was out-jumped by Bays Hill on the outside, who put in the quicker jump. They're the front 3. I Told Them That and Will Bill racing 4 and 5. They're being followed then by Hillside Hope in the white and blue colours. Ramses the Great is behind these. The Old Brewery's down the inside. Tipu Sultan has dropped a couple of positions, has now just got one behind, and that is Largy Dart. So they race downhill, heading towards the completion of the opening circuit. They'll get to fence number 5 when they do so. And it is one of the newcomers, Party Policy, who's been kept wide by Jimmy O'Rourke, has the advantage over Bays Hill in second. Goodbye Earl and Will Bill are next with I Told Him That and the Old Brewery. Out wider on the course is Hillside Hope. Tipu Sultan towards the rear end of the field, and there's none behind Largy Dart as they leave the ground at fence number 5. Leader did jump out towards his right, did Party Policy, but he turns left-handed with a reduced advantage. His lead is now just a length over Bays Hill and Goodbye Earl. Will Bill is in that 4th position, the purple and yellow colours from Ramses the Great and I Told Him That. Our leader took a real chance out over it, did Party Policy, survives the error and manages to preserve his 1 length advantage as they come away from that 6th fence. They're on their way towards the halfway point, and he's now increasing his advantage, if anything, over Bays Hill in 2nd. Goodbye Earl is in 3rd, 4th for Will Bill. I Told Him That, Ramses the Great, Hillside Hope are behind these with Tipu Sultan, and Largy Dart is still the back marker. So coming away from fence number 7 of the 14 in total, they're jumping, and the advantage is still with this Party Policy. On debut, the son of Policymaker in the colours of his handler Adrian Murray takes the climb towards fence number 8 with an advantage of 2.5 length over Bays Hill for the Robert Tector stable in 2nd. 3rd, Goodbye Earl with Will Bill on the outside. They're the front quartet. Behind these, they cleared over fence number 8. Tipu Sultan wasn't quick out over that one and is now dropped to be the new back marker. Has been headed by Largy Dart at the rear of the field. That one representing connections of our opening winner, with Stephen Connor and Stuart Crawford, as they turn into the home straight and relatively tightly grouped as they head on their way towards the fence, which is 6 from the finish in this 4-year-old Geldings Maiden. And it is Party Policy who's now been headed and has quickly been taken to the side of the course. Looks like he's going to be pulled up there by Jimmy O'Rourke. So we are down to the 9 as they head out on their final circuit. Bays Hill is left with the advantage, as indeed Party Policy has pulled up before that fence. So Bays Hill with the advantage of half a length over Goodbye Earl. Will Bill is in the 3rd position. Ramses the Great makes progress on the inside in green and orange colours. I Told Him That is behind these with the Old Brewery. Will Bill just got a shake of the reins going around that bend. Hillside Hope, Largy Dart and Tipu Sultan So continuing this downhill run, still a good run on the level before they get to the next fence, which is 5 from the finish. And Base Hill and Goodbye Earl, they've been to the 4th throughout. Will Bill's another one that's never been too far away. Ramses the Great, the Old Brewery, is next. I told him that behind these. Hillside Hope charts that wider course in the white and blue colours, with Tipu Sultan as they go out over the 5th last. Larky Dart is the back marker as they come away from it. And as they close in on the 4th last, Goodbye Earl has joined Base Hill, little separating that pair. I told him that's on the inside of Ramses the Great. Hillside Hope and the Old Brewery are next. The Old Brewery took a chance. Larky Dart, Tipu Sultan, Will Bill pulled up there before the 4th last. So heading on towards the 3rd last, pace of the race is increasing. Base Hill with Goodbye Earl on its inside. Hillside Hope in the white colours makes good ground now into 3rd. I told him that's on the inside. Between runners, Ramses the Great, the Old Brewery, Tipu Sultan are behind these as they go out over the 3rd last behind the trees. And as they come away from it, Goodbye Earl has the narrow advantage in the black with the lime green colours. Base Hill is on the outside. There's not been much separating that pair for the last mile. Hillside Hope is on the outside of Ramses the Great. I told him that, and that's the quintet that have broken clear over Larky Dart. Tipu Sultan, the Old Brewery, is quickly weakened as they climb on their way towards the 2nd last. Goodbye Earl on the inside. Took a slight chance, more serious error by I told him that. Out over its slow jump by the Old Brewery towards the rear end of the field. But as they take the home bend, it's Goodbye Earl and Bertie Finn. Narrow advantage over Base Hill in the centre. Hillside Hope is going to deliver his challenge on the outside. Ramses the Great is behind these. I told him that's the last one still going. Everything else has been pulled up coming into the home straight. Plenty holding chances coming to the last. Goodbye Earl with Hillside Hope, who makes a mistake at over the final fence. Ramses the Great is trying to come home strongly on the inside, but Goodbye Earl for Bertie Finn, and Colin Bowe takes a 4-year-old Geldings. Ramses the Great in 2nd. Unlucky in 3 and 4. Hillside Hope and Base Hill came together at the last. I told him that was our 5th and final finisher, because pulling up coming into the home straight were Larky Dart, Tipu Sultan and the Old Brewery.